built for big savings, built for big selection. Five Star Ford, your truck headquarters, is built Ford tough. On sale, the new 2015 F-150 with $12,500 in total savings. 2015 Mustang for just $22,750. 2015 Focus, just $14,995. The all-new 2016 Fusion on sale, just $17,995. Visit drive5star.com. We're 5 Star Ford. Experience the difference. Russell Parkway next to the post office, Werner Robbins.
Drive5star.com. Sorry we missed you last week. We played hooky. We laid out, man. We needed a break. And as far as we know, except through the holidays, we're probably going to ride this thing on out through the end of the year and probably farther. Morgan, Pastor Todd Sharon, Deep Dixie Racing Report. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. We are so glad that you took time to join us. And Morgan, you are actually kind of being a part of history on our show. We're calling this the Pink Edition. This is part one. And we are focusing pretty much on our female drivers and members of our racing family that are females. And we really do appreciate you joining us tonight.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes. Morgan, I know that you have had some success. I know that you have won at some pretty historic tracks down at Needmore. I also know that you won on the high banks of East Alabama Motor Speedway, and that is some very, very impressive stuff there. For folks that may not be familiar with where you race and what division and who you may be, give us a snapshot of how you got started. Tell us your age and give us an idea of what your racing is like now.
Well, I'm 23 years old, and I started racing in Mini Stock when I was 15 at Albany when it was still asphalt. And then we raced in Alabama for a couple of years racing enduro, and I still race enduro now. I really just got into racing because of my dad and my whole family. There's several people in my family that race. Mm-hmm. I raced the car I had before this year, my enduro car. My dad actually built for my mom, and my mom raced it for several years, and then he raced it, and then I raced it. So we always just called it our family car.
All right. Sounds good. If you're just tuning in, we're joined on the line right now by Miss Morgan Williams. And Morgan, Dale and I, Dale Hall, our producer, we usually speak throughout the week. Brian and I do too. And we were kind of talking about the show, unlike, it's not any different than any other week, but there was a little bit different from the standpoint that we were going to be talking to some female drivers. And Dale shared something with me that was incredible, and I'll try to set it up. And as much as you feel comfortable talking about it, I think it's an incredible story, and I'd like for you to expound on it. First of all, congratulations. I think Dale tells me that you're in the medical field and you're a nurse. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I work in the ER in Thomasville. Oh,
bless your heart. Morgan, I'm actually a hospice chaplain, and I work with nurses every day, and God bless you for what you do, especially in the ER. I know that's an incredible responsibility. But Morgan, I'm not exactly sure when this happened, but you were involved in a pretty nasty crash, not on the racetrack, but in your passenger car. And out of that, there was some, well, I would describe it as life-altering injuries. And first of all, let me ask you how you're doing from that crash. How's your recovery? And kind of walk us through what happened there.
Well, I'm doing fine, obviously. I mean, I told my parents all I wanted to do after was be able to go back to work and go back racing. That's all I wanted, and that's what I did. It happened last year in April of 2014, and it had just been raining all week, and I hydroplaned, and my car spun around, and I hit a guardrail. And I had to go to the hospital, and I had fractured my femur bone in one of my legs, and then my other leg looked pretty messed up that they couldn't save it, so they had to amputate it. And I spent a couple of weeks in the hospital, and then I did a bunch of rehab, and I was back at work in July doing desk work, and then I was back on the floor in the ER by September.
Wow, that is incredible. Guys that are just tuning in, now you can kind of understand why I encourage you to make sure you were near your computer when we talk to Morgan Williams. Morgan, I really appreciate you recounting that, and one of the reasons that I asked you that was because I felt like that you would be a great inspiration to whoever may be listening to this. And you being in the medical field, when that accident happened, did you realize right away how bad your leg was hurt?
I don't remember. I don't remember the first 3 or 4 days after my accident. The EMS, I was working at the hospital at the time, so I knew everyone, and they all said that I was talking to them, and I mean, they said that I was joking around with them, but I don't remember anything from the first couple of days.
Right. Folks, we are on the line right now with a very, very inspirational young lady. Her name is Morgan Williams. She's 23 years old. She's an ER nurse, which is in and of itself heroic. She's also a part of a racing family. Just about everyone in her family has raced, and naturally she followed into their footsteps. She drives in the Road Warrior class, and she just told us about a serious accident that she had in her passenger car back in April of last year, and as a result of that, she had one of her legs amputated. And Morgan, I guess my next question is this: being a race car driver and knowing pretty much everybody knows the setup on a car, you've got pedals and that sort of thing. How has your injury affected your driving as far as the use of your legs?
It really hasn't at all. It's just mainly, instead of using my ankle to smash the gas pedal, I'm just moving my leg up and down. Before, where I would just move my ankle.
Okay.
And the only modification that we made is that on the pedal, we just put little pads on each side so that my foot would not slip off and I not realize it.
Man, that's incredible. Morgan, now you won a big race at East Alabama. You've won at Needmore, and I know that you drive in what I guess those tracks call the Road Warrior division. We call them the Bombers down at Cochran, where I work. That is one of the most competitive classes. Yeah. I mean, they have a huge field of cars every single time that we race, and to be able to win in that division, period, is doing something. But I know you can't do it without a lot of help. Give us an idea, other than your family, obviously, that helps you, of any of the sponsors and the supporters that you have.
Well, Rehab Engineering, they're actually the people who make my prosthesis. He helps me out in general, like as far as just helping me with my leg, and he always calls it my racing sponsorship. Because without the leg, I obviously wouldn't be racing again.
Absolutely.
And then Elaine Del Fuel out of Valdosta, Georgia, is where we get my racing fuel, and they're helping us out. And then Lawrence Automotive Machine Shop, which is where my dad works, and we do all our machine shop work.
Very good.
And other than that, it's just my mom and dad and I.
Get her to share with us the family members that's involved in racing too.
Yeah, Morgan, the question and the request is this. I know you mentioned you have several family members, including your parents. Give us a snapshot of the people in your family that race and who they are, division. Are they still actively racing and so forth?
Well, my mom used to race. She raced in enduro. My dad still races. He just hasn't raced this year, and he was racing in hobby. My Uncle Travis, he races in hobby bomber at Albany usually. My other uncle used to race go-kart. My dad's father used to race as well, and then my mom's father, Larry Denton, used to race a lot, all the time, but I was too young to really remember, and he's passed away, so he doesn't race anymore.
Okay.
So I guess the most well known would be my grandpa, Larry Benton. I've heard so many stories about him being on and off the track.
He used to be at Thunderbolt Speedway.
She said Larry Benton.
Yep.
Larry Benton is your grandfather, right, Morgan?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, Lord, yes. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that is a pretty big heritage there.
Yeah.
And you know, you mentioned something about the Langdale family. I know that is a large family as far as businesses and things like that. I've actually had the privilege of meeting Wesley Langdale. I don't know if you know Wesley. I don't know the others, but I met Wesley through go-kart racing actually. So good people. We really appreciate all that they do and your other sponsors. And Morgan, I got to tell you, just having you on and just being able to have a conversation with you tonight, it is so inspiring, not only to me, being the one asking the questions, but you have such a calm demeanor. And you know, a lot of times I have heard that someone that is dealt, you know, a challenging blow, a lot of times it can absolutely send their life into a tailspin, and a lot of people sink into depression and much worse. But I know it's not easy, and I'll never ever even allude to the fact that what happened to you was not incredibly traumatic, but it sounds like to me that you have handled this, well, perfectly. It sounds like to me that your attitude and you got yourself right back in the game, not just racing, but right back at your job in the hospital. We want to give you a huge compliment for that, sis. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And it just in my life into a whole different world for a little bit, but it was just all about how you handled it, and I knew what I wanted. I just wanted to go back to normal.
Very good, very good.
Is she ready for the state race? Ask her that.
Are you ready for the state race, Morgan?
We're working on it.
Well, ask her what her prediction is. What's your prediction? What you gonna try to get up there and try to win that thing?
Well, of course.
There you go.
I wouldn't need all
All right.
try to win.
There you go. That's what I like to hear.
Morgan, before we let you get out of here, I don't want to end the conversation without at least, I feel like it was almost borderline rude on my part. We only talked about racing. Do you have a family? I mean, are you married? Do you have children or anything?
No, sir. I'm not married and no children. I just have myself and my parents and my friends.
Cool. All right. Well, wanted to give you an opportunity there. A lot of times when we get dialed in on the racing talk, sometimes we don't always get a chance to acknowledge people's family. But Morgan, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and hopefully somewhere down the road we'll be able to meet personally. And our best to you in your racing, not only that, but in your career. And again, God bless you and thank you for your courage, your inspiration that you've helped to give to each one of us tonight.
Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. That is Miss Morgan Williams. And again, man, I know this is a racing show, and I know we talk about all things racing pretty much, but that is an incredible story.
Yes.
Some of my fondest memories of this show thus far, and I'm guessing now we're in 4 or 5 months.
Yep.
You know, we talked to Shane Mill.
Yep.
Had an opportunity to talk to him, and we learned how he kind of rebounded from his injury.
Yep.
And
Catastrophic.
yeah, to talk to Morgan Williams, a young lady, very early on has this happen, but absolutely just steps right up and looks it in the face.
But that quick back to work too. I mean, she had a wreck in April, an accident, like you said, you know, just life altering.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she was back on the floor working June and July.
That's absolutely incredible, absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, Dale, we are just about done with hour number 1. If it's all right with you guys, I think we'll take a short time out. And